You
Yeah.
liked Bloody Marys, though. I don't trust what you like to drink.
Only at airports, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I like
it's
6
even
in the morning.
worse.
I'd rather have syrup in a cider, but
Oh yes.
do you
It's
remember
not that bad. It's not that bad.
Down the rabbit hole.
Welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole with me, Daniel West.
Me, Ricky Delaney.
Me, Scott McParland.
And this is where you get to find out the behind-the-scenes gossip of Red Hot Riot, meet our friends, and listen to us chat utter bollocks for our own amusement, and hopefully yours too. As he always used to introduce him on stage, I'm going to let Ricky take this one. Who have you got with us today?
So our guest this month, someone very close to our hearts, is the spaghetti you eating, Gloucestershire steel punching, hairline receding, Elvis Presley reincarnation, Mr. Lucas Barrett.
Yeah!
Lewis Barnett, everybody, he's in.
what a lovely introduction from Shirley Carter.
You alright, mate?
Top.
So this cheering looks like it goes on for a really long time.
That's the biggest round of applause I've ever got.
Calm down, everyone. Right, everyone, calm down. It's only Lewis. Beyond that wonderful introduction, Lewis, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit? Let everyone know who you are.
What's more? What more is there to know about Lou Barn than what I just said?
YouTube famous.
Take us back to the start.
Take us
Back
to the start.
back
So
to
where
the
you were
very start.
tuning up in the fields.
Oh no, it goes back before that. So it all started by me and Ricky sort of conversing about how I was going to play Smoke on the Water in the rhythm section and a bit of Big River. And then we all decided to go to the Shakedown, the Field of Dreams, on that warm, sunny weekend. And all camped together. And then we had a great weekend. Got
That was
to
a banging weekend.
the Saturday was a very good weekend. We got to the Saturday, and I went home to get my motorcycle. And Ricky said, "I'll bring your guitar down." So I went back. I thought, oh, all right, I'll grab it, have a little go. Got back in the field, pulled her out the case, snapped a string straight away,
Yeah, he did.
and
He did.
then we decided
Great
to
start.
play about half hour of 12-bar rockabilly honey bun.
We did.
Um,
And Dig a
And
Hole we
then,
played as well. Dig a Hole, do you remember that?
yeah, we had a little go at that, didn't we? With
Yeah.
no high E, low E, bottom E, whatever you want to call it. So we had a gentleman's handshake that it would be a play on the Sunday jam session or I'll do a gig. So I opted, I thought, oh, I know, I'll just give him a quick handshake and say, yeah, I'll do a gig. Forget about it, he won't call me out on it. Nope. 3 weeks in probably about 6 cans of cider. Yeah, so they called me out on it in about the September. Gave me 6 weeks to learn a full 2 45-minute sets. And then off we went to Percy Picklebackers, and that was it.
Percy Picklebackers was your first gig, wasn't it?
That was my first gig, and I think it was a week in Nottingham, yeah, a week or two earlier than it was supposed to be. I listened to the album at least twice a day for 2 months solid. I played for about 2 hours every night just to do it. So
I bet you
Nice.
were absolutely sick of the songs.
yeah, yeah.
I did. What I remember about that is Lou was big on. What was you drinking at that point?
Southern Comfort.
He's gone Southern Comfort and lemonade. I remember you had a couple of them before the gig.
You
Yeah.
liked Bloody Marys, though. I don't trust what you like to drink.
Only at airports, though.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh,
like
it's
6
even
in the morning.
worse.
I'd rather have syrup in a cider, but
Oh yes.
Do you
It's
remember
not
that
that bad. It's not that bad.
it's not that bad. But don't put half a jar in.
Have we got any vlogs where we can send the listeners to actually see this shit happen?
Well,
Because
do you know what? I wanted to bring this up because I wanted he is the king of vlogs, is Lou Barn. He
oh
didn't
yes,
he didn't realise, he was gonna be.
At the time.
I just started putting cameras in his face.
I'm really disappointed you didn't come in 0.5 lens and with your face about half an inch away from the screen. To be honest
can
with
you
you.
imagine that? Just doing like this. Just,
Hello, my baby.
Hello, my baby.
the old Christy Kepper on that.
I was gonna say that. I wanted to like sort of see what your opinion was it on the other side, because like obviously there are some notable moments in the vlogs. Obviously, like when we was at the rave with like when we're singing Grease and we're doing that. Obviously, Pimp Juice is pretty big in the vlogs. There's obviously in Vegas when obviously it's pretty sore, I know, but when you lost in the bop competition to me, doing Dirty Dancing in the swim pool, all those sort of things. There's a lot of like really big notable parts in the vlogs. But is there anything like? Do you ever watch them back? Do you like think?
I do actually. Quite a lot.
Have you got a favorite vlog?
Quite a funny one I like is when we went to Sweden and Scott was eating gravel. That was quite a funny one.
Went down the slide, didn't I?
This spin it's just hilarious.
Give it the full horsepower.
All of them are really good. We had a good time everywhere we went, really.
What about the 0.5 lens? How did you feel about that?
It was kind of spur of the moment, and you're sort of all G'd up anyway. So you just act up to it even more. And then everyone's sort of on the same energy, so we were all as bad as each other, really. But just the camera got stuck in my face a lot more.
That was the best thing about Lou Barn. He just always brought the atmosphere. Like, if we were all feeling
100%.
tired or feeling down, Lou would just spin one of his magic.
Scott's exactly right, man. Like, you brought the energy, and whenever we were like out and about, the mood might be a bit low, or we'd be a bit tired, or whatever else. Stick a fucking 0.5 lens in your face, and like everyone's golden again.
It was a good time. It was a good time. Like you said, like everyone just bounced off each other, and I think that sort of comes across in the vlogs. At the end of the day, it was just like four lads going out, somehow getting these gigs around Europe, and it was just a good crack.
It was one of them opportunities. If I didn't take it, I'd never get it. And it was the right group of people doing the right sort of thing, and just got up to all sorts of mischief and had a good time. And we played some really good gigs, to be fair. Favourite gig? I'd say Viva was one. That was good. Just for the buzz of being there. The Frog and Fiddle the first time in Cheltenham, that was something else. And another top tier one was the Bear at Bedlam. That real dangerous one we had.
Fill everyone in. What happened?
So the Bear is the after party, would you call it? The Psychobilly Freakout?
Bedlam breakout.
Bedlam Breakout, that's it. And the after party was packed, and there was lots of people, and the light bars were swaying, the speakers were falling. Scott was stood on the chair against the wall out the way.
The wrecking pit came in, didn't it? And everyone else was just swinging their hands around, and people were falling onto the stage, and drinks were flying, and then the speakers came down and almost fell on your head, right?
Yeah. That was a moment. That's
the time where I'm happy to be behind a drum kit. I'll tell you that much. I've got my own barrier around me.
Trying to hide behind a speaker away from the wrecking, but the speaker came with me. So
one thing you mentioned before was about like the adrenaline and the nerves, right? Because not a lot of people will probably know that you'd never played on stage before you'd played with us, had you?
I'd never been in a band before I was in Red Hot Riot. I'd only ever really played in my room, sort of thing. A few little things at school when I was a kid, but apart from that, nothing. Just pretty much just self-taught in the bedroom, really.
And to me, that just feels unreal, because you came into us, which was, we were halfway through doing some big things that year. Like, we're talking, Vegas. We went around Europe. We fucking smashed some
UK tour.
Right?
Yeah,
2 UK tours. Did you have anything that you would do to like try and cope with your those nerves and the adrenaline, or was it just like joke through it and just enjoy it? Because I know we were having a great time on the surface. Everything was great, and everything I know is great. So I'm really asking you, like, because I don't think I ever asked you in the band if there was anything else that you were doing to try and like handle that kind of pressure, I guess.
There was one gig actually I remember, and that was at the Joe Newborn's Hot Rock Promotions gig in Stoke.
That's right.
And we went on stage, and I remember me and Rick chatting, and we said, let's just go out there and let's just prat around, let's just be stupid, have a bit of a laugh. So we just started doing some silly little things at each other, and then back with you two as well. And it kind of like, I felt a a lot more comfortable then, because it was like, well, we're not so serious now doing this. Let's just muck around a bit and have a laugh. And people seem to like watching us have a laugh or not be so serious, and that kind of settled the nerves a bit then.
I loved having fun with you on stage.
Lou, I got
Yes.
a question for you, Mush.
What's that, mate?
So in Red Hot Riot, you had a little collection of guitars that you had rather admirable names for, and they had their own little personalities. Fill us in that story behind them.
All the guitars I used, I bought specifically to play in the band with. So the first thing I bought was a butterscotch blonde Telecaster. Always wanted a Telecaster, but never had a reason to buy one. And then joined the band, and I was like, right, I need a Telecaster. I need something that's right up my street. So I bought one, and it being a butterscotch blonde, the sort of blonde, that bit of like bimbo sort of thing was there, and I thought, oh, you know what? Let's give her that name, Bimbo. So she come out as Bimbo, and then
Was she good to you, Lou?
she was actually. Yeah, she was my favourite out of the lot, and
Good.
that one come all around the world. That played in every country we went to. And then we had the Gretsch. That was
Oh, actually, before you move on,
Yeah.
before you do move on from that, you had Mark Harmon signed
he
that,
did
right?
in Pineda. Yeah. He,
Mark
I
Harmon
was-
of
You were
Restless.
very jealous. Yeah, Mark Harmon of Restless. Yeah. And then I bought the Gretsch Streamliner.
I forgot
This
you had that.
Gretsch
Streamliner.
Streamliner, which was like twice the size of me because I'm only little. And it was, I don't know if you boys remember, but every gig I played at, everything went wrong every time. I remember the gig we done when we supported the Data Bombers at New Cross. And when we started playing, I picked that one up. And our drumsticks come fly past my head. And then we had to stop to get the kit off the stage. And then we had to start again. Then I broke a string. Yeah, it was just a bad omen, that guitar. Like, it didn't have the sound. I like that, like, telly twang. That's my sort of just generic rockabilly, isn't I? But
Well, they say tones in the fingers, Lou. So.
mine weren't.
I know what
Mine
is in
was
the fingers.
Mine was in my tuning pedal. But, yeah, no. And then
you built one,
I
right?
built one, which we called Stella. And she's a beautiful turquoise. Oh, I don't know what colour it is. I presume it's turquoise. Could be blue, turquoise. I don't know.
Lou's colourblind.
Oh yeah,
Colourblind,
yeah.
aye.
Lewis is colourblind.
Yeah, a bit deficient in the colour department in the eyes, but and then it's like all glitter flake. But I built it all out of really good parts, and then I remember the first time I played it as well. It was at Shakedown, and none of you knew I'd finished it, and I brought it out and I said, "Check this out." And I remember the fear in Rick's eyes when he said, "You playing that today?" I said, "Yeah, I finished it at 11 o'clock last night." And I haven't like properly tested
like,
it.
for
And he looked at me and went,
fuck's
"Oh." I could just see him, like, the colour run out of his face. And then I said, right, if it makes it through sound check, I'm playing it in the gig. I put like a big spin on it. Made it through sound check, and I was like, right, we're going for it. And yeah, Rick just he was not happy. He was not happy. It was the best sound guitar out of all three, and it got the whole way through the gig, no problems, and yeah, it was lovely to play.
We didn't say at the beginning when we were camping with you, that was Shakedown as well. So it was
Yeah,
like...
it was near enough a whole year to the day, wasn't it?
So, I mean, talking about you, the first time you played and stuff, I know you said to us the first time you played live was in Nottingham.
Yep.
I don't reckon that's true, Lou. I'll tell you for why. Because I seem to remember you got up and sang and played guitar in a school play, didn't you?
What, when I was being Elvis? Yeah. The double denim, the pop collar, swinging the hips.
Talk us
It was-
through it. I seem to remember you played. Yeah.
Could you give us a
Got
little
any-
bit of that now, Lou? Just a
I
little
can't,
bit.
man. I twisted my ankle on the way upstairs earlier, so I can't do that in a minute.
Can we find any video of this? Because I want to
of
see
lyrics.
this.
There isn't any videos because it was filmed on a potato about 20 years ago, so there's no recollection anymore. But yeah, it did happen, and I was Elvis for all of about 45 seconds, and I was a proper kiddie. Like, it was, yeah. I had a lot of hair then. I had a good quiff. Now I ain't got anything. It's just this little bit tough on the top. So. Percy Picklebackers weren't my first outing with you guys, was it? It was when we went to Western Star and filmed the 6-track EP.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, that was the first outing, and that was more difficult than a gig.
Do you often think, Lou, from time to time, like I'm played on a record released by a record label?
Yeah, quite a lot. I listen to it quite a lot as well. Like just brings back the memories, like when we was having a gig or doing the backing vocals and stuff, and he's saying act like a pair of laces and tie yourself together, and that got me. That did. Yeah.
You fell over. You were crippled.
Yeah, it was that little like elbow bop he was doing. That really got me. That was.
That's got to be in. I think it's still on the vlog.
That's in the vlog. Yeah.
No, it's not in the vlog. It'd be on one of the stories, wouldn't it?
Well, we did. Yeah. So I did at that time. I was doing daily videos online, uploading it to up to Facebook.
Yeah, and we smashing donuts.
So it is on our Facebook videos.
Flapjacks.
Flapjacks.
About 120 flapjacks that week.
Jesus, that wasn't even a week. It was like 3 days. I also remember we had problems with all my guitars on that recording. The
all kept going out of tune.
They kept going out of tune, and the acoustic, I had put resonator strings on it, so they were real thick, and they were squeaking when we first started recording.
Yeah.
So then me and Dan took an hour and a half drive back to Cheltenham to get 2 more guitars to come back for them to just stay out of tune all weekend. So.
God, we got that little detail.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So if you listen to, I can't remember which song it
Bite
is.
of the Cherry.
It might be Bite of the Cherry. You can hear your guitar is slightly out of tune.
And by the time we got back, Rick had recorded all of his guitars, all of his vocals, all in like 3 hours.
No messing, mate. No messing.
Yeah,
those sessions were like that though. They were intense. Like I know you've never done recording before, but from someone who's done recording before as well, that is an intense way to record. So you fucking smashed it.
Thanks, mate.
It's because we didn't have much time either, did we? Like it was like the amount of time we were booked in for. It was like everything has to go right.
Exactly.
And it didn't.
No, exactly.
Terrible.
But we've got a record from it that I think sounds pretty good, and it definitely, I think it does capture the how the band was.
Have we told anyone which record this is yet?
This was Up the Riot. So that's the one. It's Bite of the Cherries on it. The Mask is on it. Trouble, Blackbird, Outcast.
We're in this together.
Together.
I may add, the Easter egg is that Lou Barn features front and center on the artwork sleeve.
He does.
Yeah.
Rick wasn't happy about that.
I didn't mind.
You did. You made
look at you look away as you said that.
Look who's front and center. He's like, on the front, man. I should be on the front middle.
So like obviously like during the old time you were with the band, you were able to see like completely the other side of gigging.
Yeah.
Like did it show the music industry, for lack of a better term, in like another light?
Massively, yeah. So like what everyone normally sees with music is like you see people on the stage having a good time and they think like your life revolves around partying, gigging, lots of money and things like that. But it couldn't be far from like further away from that really. Like there's many times all 4 of us we'd be getting home at like 3-4 in the morning, absolutely knackered, getting up for work next morning.
Right.
Like there's not much money in it because it's not our job or anything. It was just a hobby that like if it can just pay for our fuel sort of thing, we were happy at the time. And traveling as well. Traveling absolutely takes it out of you. Like what was it? We went to Glastonbury. When we played at Glastonbury, it took us 22 hours to get into Glastonbury. We had to camp in the car park, and because they wouldn't let us in because all the staff went home at 10 o'clock. So we had to.
It was worse than not just being let in, though.
Yeah.
We got halfway in, our ticket stubs were ripped. They wouldn't give us wristbands, so they had to search through all the ticket stubs to match the ticket stubs back together for us to sleep in the car park so we could get in the next day.
Crazy. Yeah. I'm amazed we got in. The fact that they were able to find our ticket stubs again is ridiculous. That's mad.
Everyone had a great time. We're sat in a car park with a tent up, like.
Yeah. Also, what we didn't know at the time is we were meant to be playing that evening.
Yeah.
We didn't know that.
No one informed us of that. We had Austria as well, which took us 18 hours, wasn't it? Long time in the airport. We were doing the live video, and we had to go around the airport and find objects and stuff. It was a good night though. That was a real good gig. We headlined that one, didn't we?
We headlined a festival in Europe. That's quite a big title, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, even though it's mental, I mean, I think you boys would agree. Like, I wouldn't want to ever change that because it was crazy, but it's what made it. Like, it was hard. It was hard work, but that's what made it.
And we've got the memories for life now.
What was weird about that gig was, like, again, obviously, like Scott said, we were headlining a festival in Austria. But the thing that I don't know if you boys noticed it or whether you even remember it, was we were playing Life You Get and there was someone singing along. And I was like, this is mad. Because we're, like, in a country we've never played in. We don't know anyone here other than the lads I'm on stage with. And it's like, we're relying on these people to look after us tonight. You know, have a hotel, feed us, take us back to the airport. Like, it's pretty mental when you think about it. And then there's people just singing along to your songs, and we're like, well, we're four lads who met at the Shakedown because we like spaghetti oops and beers. Do you have a favourite Red Hot Riot song?
Oh, it's difficult. My favourite to listen to would be probably Morning Light. I really like that one.
Really?
I really like that song.
That's a swerveball answer.
Yeah.
Didn't expect that.
I didn't expect that.
I don't know. It's just
No,
real. It's got that real punchy intro, and it's like, that's real ballsy. I like that. And all the little licks and stuff in it. Yeah. My favourite to play is definitely Chill and Walk. We had fun on that every time we played it. And Blackbird, I like listening and playing Blackbird. Now that is probably joint first, Blackbird and The Mask, because The Mask, we got like a real personal thing with like the Gloucestershire Steel side of it, and it stemmed from the very start of my journey at Red Hot Riot, and that was the first song I had involvement with.
Go on then, quickly tell us about Gloucestershire Steel.
Gloucestershire Steel, it started as Barbers, didn't it, when Ricky was doing Scott's hair?
Well, you put it on your story saying Gloucestershire Steel Barbers open or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of became this thing that Gloucestershire Steel were like hard as fuck.
Well, we're not. We're a bunch of mouts.
But
really.
we're not.
We even got our own little Facebook group, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we made a Facebook group, and then
it's just about eating spaghetti oops, basically, and not being massive.
That's literally it. Yeah. That's literally it. Eating spaghetti oops, drinking beers,
and thinking of Stella.
So, obviously, Lou, you're an out and out rockabilly. Yeah. After playing on the rockabilly scene and the psychobilly scene, did you find like a bit of a love for the psychobilly scene?
Yeah, I did.
At all?
I like the crowd that a psychobilly gig draws in. It's very friendly. They're very easygoing people. Very open to new styles. There's some real good bands out there as well. Yeah, I like the psychobilly scene. Yeah, I still listen to some psychobilly stuff here and there. And
go on, Lewis Barnett. Yeah. I wanted to ask you as well. Obviously, we haven't got much time, but I wanted to ask you as well about your tattoos.
Yeah, got a couple.
And how many have you got now?
Unfortunately, I lost count after having my first half sleeve. So we got all knuckles. It says because I am hard, so. Gloucestershire Steel, I should say, percent. We got hands, arms. I got my throat done on a bit of a whim sort of thing. Booked it the day before and thought, I'll get my throat done. I got all my chest, collarbones. I've got pretty much all of my lower legs done now, which you boys haven't really seen much of.
What have you got on the back of your leg, Lou?
I got the...
and the pecker.
Shall I see if I can show you? Hang on. Let's see if we can get it on the screen. I have to stand on the chair, though.
Oh,
I thought you might have covered over there by now.
There's a view there.
Can you see it?
Oh, look at that.
I can see a rocket. I can see the rocket.
I don't think you see
boy.
Hey.
I thought we'd have it covered. What was that for, Lou?
That was because we had the agreement. We played on the Rocket Lounge stage at Glastonbury, so we had to have a rocket done in aid of it.
We did.
So I went and got a massive one, the size of the back of my leg.
That's mine.
So
Lou had to get the biggest one because he's the number one
biggest
megastar of Red Hot Riot.
Biggest jabby.
I got the smallest one.
Yeah,
just there.
Because he's the littlest.
Yeah.
Lou, have you got any questions for us?
So obviously you released the latest album. What sort of reception did you guys get from it? And what reception were you expecting, and did it meet your expectations?
Ooh, good question.
it varied. It was a slow burner.
A slow starter.
Yeah, so we put it out, and I expect you saw, and other people would have seen, like, we were getting like proper abuse for it, because like we were sort of trying to evolve a bit, and in our minds it was like, yep, this is the next stage. This is, you know, the next blend of what Red Hot Riot has to offer. But I think after like now I feel like far more comfortable with it. I think after doing the Delta Bombers thing and like hanging out with them and playing the album on tour and things like that, people, I don't know whether it's people have changed their opinions or whether we've just changed our mindset on it and we feel more confident in it. I don't know, but I would say, I don't know, how do you feel, Scott?
I think we've probably got to cut ourselves a little bit of slack. I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of bands would experience something similar, maybe not to the same levels, but I think you could argue anytime you're releasing new stuff, you've always got that little bit of apprehension in the back of your mind. Unfortunately, like even people like the band, I think you'd be very lucky to have 100% of your fan base love everything you do. And I know that for bands that I really like. Like there'll be some songs that they'll come on and I'll skip, and like they're by my favourite band. So we've got to cut ourselves a little bit of slack, and we've got to remember it takes time for songs to catch on. So yeah, we've stayed true to ourselves, and we all put a lot of work into it. Obviously, writing the songs and a lot of work with us, fine tuning them, and then we're all a bit excited as a band, wanting to share it with people. So I think we did get a bit of a knockback, certainly in like the start of the year, where we did a couple of gigs down in Plymouth, namely, and there was a little while there where we weren't getting the reception that we wanted to get, basically.
You know, I think I was thinking about this, and I think a lot of it is because like when we've played outside of the rockabilly scene, it's been fine, but whenever we have played on the scene, people are like what are you doing? But I think a big part of that is because the rockabilly scene is such like, it's a live thing. Sure. Like people like to go and watch the band and they like to dance to the band, and that's kind of it. And like, this isn't me shitting on it because I do love the scene. It's I think that's the enjoyment people get is that. But it was like, well, yeah, we've released it, so people would have heard this stuff, so they're aware of it. But the thing with the scene is they're not really, like, unless you've got physical copies of things. They don't really hear it. Do you know what I mean?
Can I jump in and ask you, Lou? Because I mean, obviously, from my point of view, I laid down the tracks when we did the recordings, and I've hopped back in at what feels like quite a good time. We did Bristol; it felt good. I know I spoke to the lads when they were doing some of the tour, and it was weighing a bit on them as everyone's been sort of speaking about here. But I think some of the tracks on this album were sort of starting to come together when you were back in the band still, because obviously it takes a while, the album loops and things like that. So when you were playing in it as to when you heard them come out, what do you reckon?
It's definitely different to what we was doing pre that album, like when we released Up the Riot. It's definitely a whole different sort of feel and style, but you get the sort of reference of all the sort of areas your idols are in, if you get what I mean. Like you can see there's a bit like psychobilly, you got a little bit of punk, you got your sort of rockabilly in. It's all there, and it's all like coming together, and it is developing. And then like the next album, you'll develop it again. Like half of it I liked, half of it I wasn't like. It's not a bad thing. Yeah. Like Nighttime Rider, for example, absolutely love that. That I always said that from the beginning. I love that track, and it come out really, really good. And with Salves on that one as well. And
he is
the one you got Jerry on as well.
That's Last Day.
Yeah, that was good throwing him into that mix. That worked really well. His voice real fitted that. I like the album. I listened to it a few times, to be fair. I still listen to it now and again. And it's one of them albums that grows on you. Like you say, like Scott was saying about people, like they skip songs and stuff. But like the more you listen to it, the more it's like, yeah, I like this. So it grows on you.
Appreciate it.
I think what it is as well is like you need to. I think it needs to be taken out of like Red Hot Riot just is like a rockabilly band. Like if you go into listening to that album that Red Hot Riot is a strictly rockabilly band, then you will hate people will hate the album.
So I remember we had this, all four of us probably had this conversation multiple times over last year and stuff. We couldn't really like pinpoint what genre we were hitting. We were sort of like, well, we're just doing what we're doing, and like from Glastonbury to Vegas to Pineda to like Caldecott Castle, we were just doing,
because we've never really been
you've
like
never labelled yourself,
a rockabilly band. Like you listen to Forget Me Not, which is obviously prior to when you joined. Like there's a lot of like indie influence in that. Yeah. No, it's interesting to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah. And it's like you say about influences there, it's quite, you can see like the more you guys are gigging, the places you go and the different bands you're seeing, and you're being introduced to new music all the time, you can see new influences coming through all the time, and that's where your style is like changing all the time.
Well, we're talking about the scene then. Have you got a favourite band on the rockabilly scene at the moment? I know there's a few that are pretty like kicking ass.
What,
at
like
the minute.
new bands or just any band in general, or
maybe something that you've just discovered recently?
I'd say one of my favourite bands on the scene at the minute for what they're doing, live and to listen to, is Total and the Raw Deals. They are brilliant. They are. Yeah. They've got very good stage presence. The confidence is there. Their sound, they're all very talented as well. And like even their recordings and stuff, it's real good. I like the Sundown Boys as well. I like their they got a real authentic sound. The Go Getters, they're still by far my favourite. Absolutely love it.
They're my favourites.
We watched them like 6 times in 2022. I think it was.
Played with them.
That was
mad,
amazing.
wasn't it? Everywhere we went, they were there.
We just kept bumping into them.
Yeah.
Like
on
every
first name
festival we
terms.
do.
It was cool.
Yeah. Obviously the Bombers. You got to love the Bombers. Everyone loves the Bombers. I got to see Bobby Wilson at Rock and Race in 2023. He was really good. That was something I've never seen him before. Obviously his dad being Jackie he was really good. Yeah, there's just so many bands coming out at the minute, left, right, and centre, that are like real good.
There is a lot of good stuff out there, and that I mean, talking about us not being rockabilly, that's quite a broad term really, because rockabilly is a blanket for so many different styles as well within it. Like you say, like the Sundown Boys are a bit more country at times, and then you've got Toto, which is like, you know, to me it's kind of like Restless and Neo sort of sounding stuff. I would put them in that category. And then obviously you got the Bombers, who are like their own thing again. So it is interesting, like how many subgenres there are within that.
I think the scene needs that though, to have its own individuality. It's kind of like if you've just got the same sounding bands, there's no point to it, is there? Really?
Yeah. I'll tell you another good band with a real good sound that's not so rockabilly but a bit different is our mate Nico with the Bitter Pills. I like what they're doing. Yeah.
See, that really surprised. Like, I like them, but that really surprised me that you like them.
It's a very heavy sound, and I'm not really.
I wouldn't have said that's your thing, because they're very like Queens of the Stone Age sort of sound.
A lot of energy, really good stage presence.
Yeah, it surprises me.
I actually went to watch Queen of the Stone Age last year, and I was blown away. They were amazing, absolutely amazing.
Amazing live band.
Yeah, they're cool.
They are incredible, and it was a good opportunity. And
blew your airline off.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Josh, I'm absolutely annihilated it. But yeah, and
it might have been mentioned twice in 2 podcasts now. Our first 2 podcasts, I think, have both had Queen of the Stone Age in them now.
They're a great band, but yeah, the Bitter Pills, I like their sound and what they're doing. I think that's pretty cool.
What about Nelly?
Who's that?
Nelly.
No, it went all fuzzy.
What about Nelly?
Nelly, a bit Pimp Juice. He's still number one. Yeah, gotta have a bit of Pimp Juice in your life, haven't you?
Bit of Etta James.
Oh, I love Etta James. Oh,
don't talk about Etta James.
I know. We've had a few long car rides.
Emotional romance, and yeah.
Stop talking about Pimp Juice.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Well, as Lewis has decided to fuck off, we'll take this opportunity to ditch the call as well before he comes back. Thanks everyone for tuning in to another episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. I had to scroll up on my notes there to remember what the name of this podcast is. That's how new it is.
Daniel's Rabbit Hole.
Down Daniel's Rabbit Hole. I'm Daniel, that's Scott, that's Ricky. We are Red Hot Riot. We are touring in April. Lewis might be there, but probably not. You can check us out on social media, get involved. It'll be amazing to see you at some gigs. It'll be amazing to chat with you. And take a listen to any of our music on Spotify, Apple Music, all that nice, fun stuff. Thanks again for tuning in.
Check our merch too.
Oh, merch. We have merch. You want to buy a t-shirt? We've got that. You want to buy a badge? We've got that. You want to buy a hat? We don't have that. But you can buy a t-shirt and you can buy a badge. And we'll be expanding that.
Stick it on your head.
Yeah. To be fair, you could just wear it like a turban.
In the room.
He's
back.
It's all gone like real slow-mo and...
Lou.
Lou, we're just
Hello,
wrapping up.
Hello, Lou. You there?